Today, in a new episode of ESS Real Installations, we follow a homeowner who got quotes of up to 20,000 euros and decided to build it himself.
And then I started reading the reviews and learning more about NKON, and it became very clear that it was a fundamentally great product. And I have been actually quite impressed with it after getting it. The delivery experience, the setup, everything was flawless, and it works just like a plug-and-play device.
This is a fully self-built 32 kilowatt hours three-phase energy storage system designed, wired, and commissioned by one person. To understand what makes this system work, let's walk through the setup.
Yeah, so it's a very nice setup that we have. We have mains power coming from there. Then we have 3 inverters, which is phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. We have a distribution box, which basically takes energy in and out of the battery. We have the Servo GX, which is the brain of the system. It controls all the charging, discharging, power, everything for the system. And of course, the ESS Pro, which is the energy storage that we have.
The wiring is where most of the time goes, and where most people underestimate the complexity.
The amount of wires that you can see here, it's like probably 25-30 wires, all AC. Connecting that was quite complicated or time consuming, let's say. But otherwise, it's not a very difficult setup to do actually. The battery supplies DC to the distribution box. The distribution box sends DC to all 3 inverters. Then all the AC is routed through the meter box, let's say, and it gets mains from the house. It supplies the mains through this residual circuit breaker into all 3 inverters and then also back to the house. What I've done here is I've added expansion capacity for backup as well as for mains. And then this is connected to the car charger. So it's a 3-phase capable car charging setup, but currently I'm running it on 1 phase.
Connected to 8.5 kilowatts of solar, the house produces more energy than it consumes.
Yes, we are actually net positive, meaning we supply more energy to the grid than we consume throughout the year. Currently, the way I've set up the system, the solar and the battery are 2 independent systems altogether, which means the battery only cares about what the energy rates are and that it knows that it's dependent on the grid. I have complete 1-to-1 offset of net metering, which means I'm not paying any penalty for the energy that's being returned. I have also got a dynamic contract. So the way I've set up the system is to just do energy trading and maximize my returns on the system this year. Next year, as the energy net metering goes away, make sure that the system is charging mostly from solar and not depending on the grid at all. What that will do is that any energy that solar is producing, I can store it without pulling from the grid.
Once running, the system makes all decisions on its own.
When we talk about monitoring, there's not much to monitor. The system completely runs in the background and makes money while you sleep, essentially. But in the first few months, I was quite cautious to make sure that I was fully aware of how the system was working. So I was monitoring more constantly. And over time, I've realized you don't really need to do anything. It just runs in the background while you're doing your own thing. All you need to do is just be mindful of when you're using electricity, but that's not because of the system. That's because we have a dynamic energy rate contract. Here, what we see is that the battery is going to charge for a couple more hours, and then after the charging is finished, it will hold that charge for a few more hours, and then it will start discharging in the evening. Now, why it does that is very interesting. You can see the trend of the energy rates here, and right now is probably the cheapest hour of the day, and then the energy rates start going up again. And once the energy rates start going to the maximum, the system will automatically figure out what are the most valuable hours to discharge into the grid. And if you see here, the highest rate of selling is about 20 cents. And the lowest rate of buying is about minus 23 cents. So we are effectively getting a 40-cent arbitrage per kilowatt hour of charging, and that helps us make money. You can also see in the pattern that some of the energy is going into the battery and the rest is being consumed by the house.
With dynamic energy pricing, the battery becomes a revenue source.
We are getting paid to use electricity, and then once we start discharging the battery back to the grid, then we'll get paid for the energy back as well. So we're kind of double dipping in the per kilowatt hour that we are charging. And you can see tomorrow, for example, the rates are even more negative. So we actually get to, let's say, arbitrage 70 cents per day, and you can already see the difference. So for example, If I look at my yearly energy cost, and then January is when the system went live. Already in February, it was able to reduce our cost quite significantly. And now in March, we've already made about 150 euros. And in April so far, we've made about 165 as well. And I expect this to go beyond 200 by the end of the month. And if you see last year, there were no months where we made more than 70-80 euros. This was primarily because of solar, but now solar coupled with the battery, we are making more than twice of it.
After 4 months of live operation, one thing stands out.
I don't think I would do anything really differently. The only thing I can think of is maybe I would have wanted to get the system sooner, because the earlier you can get a system like this, the quicker your savings are. And only after getting the system, we realize how much we are able to save every month. And that's my only regret, that we waited a bit too long to get the system. Otherwise, it would have been even nicer. Being a web shop, honestly, I didn't expect NKON to do any sort of support. And it's like, I was only expecting them to just sell it and be like, you know what, now it's your problem to figure out. But I was quite honestly surprised. So I reached out to them a couple of times throughout the buying process, because the battery was supposed to come later. So I changed the order a lot of times. I was a bit confused about what I wanted to order. So I changed the components, and they were very helpful with whatever I wanted to get and change in my order. And they also allowed me to pick it up much sooner than the battery was supposed to be delivered, so I could complete half of the installation before the battery arrived, and then that saved me quite a lot of time, and it took me less than 30 minutes to get it running after I got support from them. It's been running great. It's doing better than I honestly expected it to. In terms of the sound, in terms of how much heat it produces, it's all well within range. I was expecting the battery degradation to be a bit faster, but it's not. So that's really a good testament to how long the system can last. I'm hoping for it to at least go on for 10 years. So I'm quite happy and satisfied overall. My name is Shreyas. This was my DIY installation. Thank you for watching.
NKON, we bring power to you.